Yeah, I need to know what happened to him.
Can you tell where he was shot? We saw someone run. We heard 4 shots.
So today's been a stressful day for you. I understand that.
I don't think you do.
That's off your phone. 2 days before this happened. Can you explain that? You're a smart guy. I think you know where we're going with this.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike. And in this old video, we are heading off. We're jetting off to the city of Longmont, Colorado, if you can believe such a thing, to talk about a fella named Jason Schaefer. Jason, he worked for the United States Postal Service. The thing was, one day in October of 2021, someone went postal on him. This involved an entire conspiracy against Jason's life. And the thing is, my friends, if you're planning on killing somebody, A, don't. But B, don't use Snapchat. And on that note, let's give it a go. Longmont in Colorado. It's a city north of Denver, in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It's home to a little under 100,000 people, and people who live there say, you know what, it's a bit alright. You got nature, good schools, restaurants, and the people there are mighty fine. Pleasant, you might say. But, as you can probably guess, we're not going to be talking about pleasant people in this story at all. No, instead, we're going to be talking about a couple of gobshites. Real, just top-tier dipshits. But we're not going to begin with one. It was just after midday, October 13th, unlucky month, unlucky day, 2021. That 33-year-old Jason Schaefer was doing his daily rounds, delivering the post and parcels. He'd worked at the USPS nigh on many's a year, to be sure. Jason was originally from Connecticut. He grew up there, and he was a very free-spirited, loyal, honest fella. Mad for the sports. He loved him some Carolina Panthers football, tacos, video games, softball. And more than all of that, he loved his son, Chase. This October 13th, Jason Schaefer was making his usual rounds, and he was in this little cookie-cutter neighborhood in the southwest side of Longmont. But this quiet Wednesday noon would be shocked out of the usual humdrum of life when gunshots rang out. A number of people living in this quiet-ass slice of suburbia made 911 calls, saying that they had heard gunshots and that running outside, they'd seen their usual postman lying on the ground.
Yes, hi. I need an ambulance. Our post office guy was just shot. I heard 4 shots, and he's down. There's a FedEx guy checking on him right now.
Ma'am, where is he bleeding from?
He's bleeding out of his mouth.
Police raced to the area, and pushing through the crowd that had now gathered near him, they saw Jason Schaefer lying on the ground. He laid sprawled out in front of this cluster mailbox. Some were open. It seemed clear he had been in the middle of delivering letters and parcels and such when whatever happened, happened. He was on the ground, blood was coming out of his mouth, his head, and 33-year-old Jason would pass away within minutes of the emergency responders getting to him. He would be pronounced dead then and there. It was an extremely shocking scene, not just to the police and to the EMS, but to the neighbors, the people who lived there, to the entire United States Postal Service community, that one of their own had been shot dead doing his job, just doing the rounds. To the people who knew him and worked with him every day, this was, pretty unimaginable. People in the nearby area would say that they had heard 5 shots ring out in quick succession, and then when the looky-loos peeked their head out, they said they saw a fella booking it away from the scene. This lad had a blue hoodie on, mask over the face. They booked it from the scene on foot, running down these quiet residential streets at midday, running till they were out of sight. As all this happened so fast, police believe the shooter may still be in the area. People were told to shelter in place while the drones went up. They went door to door, locking down the entire neighborhood to find whoever done did this, leaving beloved Jason bleeding out on the ground. You know, we have a lot of fun on that chapter, but let's be serious, because there are some things that it's worth being serious about, and that is your health. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down for all of us. For example, I always have these, aches and pains that I just love complaining about to anybody who will listen. But you know what? Sometimes you do need to do more than just complain about it. Sometimes you need to talk to a doctor. And that's not always easy, from being put on hold, to wait times, to finding somebody that you can really trust with these issues that can sometimes be very intimate. We would all probably see doctors more often if it weren't so stressful to find somebody who's available, who will take your insurance, and who won't make you wait weeks to be seen. Well, that's where today's sponsor, ZocDoc, comes in. ZocDoc is a free website that makes booking a healthcare appointment simple and easy. You can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors, choose the right one for you, read verified patient reviews, and book an appointment instantly. No awkward phone calls, no being put on hold, no stress. Whatever you need looked at, there's somebody to do the looking. Teeth, skin, bones, mental health care. ZocDoc has over 100,000 providers across nearly every specialty. When you were talking to somebody about health issues, you really do want somebody whose advice you can trust, somebody who's going to take you seriously, somebody they're going to help you out. You want meaningful and accurate advice rather than somebody who's just ticking those boxes. ZocDoc makes the process of finding a great, trustworthy doctor easy and accessible for everybody. Sometimes your regular doctor might have no availability. We've all been there, and it's the best way to find another great doctor you can trust. It's fantastic to have this other network of healthcare providers ready and waiting for you if your regular doctor is a little bit too busy. With ZocDoc, you can filter for doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, and who are highly rated by verified patients. And best of all, you can actually see which doctors have open appointments, which is truly a game changer. You get to see real-time availability and book something that works with your schedule. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. You don't have to talk to anybody, just book with a few clicks. If you've ever been in this situation, like I definitely have been in many times before, you want to see a doctor without a wait time or playing phone tag, then make sure you check out ZocDoc. Did I mention ZocDoc is free, by the way? Because it's absolutely free. So stop putting off those appointments and take care of yourself. Do it for me. Go to ZocDoc.com/thatchapter or click the link in the description to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. Big thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this whole video. Now let's get back to it.
Hey, Gary and Natasha, good morning. Yeah, it's understandable that just so many people who knew and loved Jason Schaefer are dealing with a lot of heartbreak right now. And just like you mentioned, it's evidenced right here by this memorial right here behind me. Flowers lining this curb right here. There's a sign with notes to Jason on them. There's a candle that's actually glowing, but now you can't really see it a whole lot with the sun coming up. But yes, this is all certainly evidence of just how loved Jason Schaefer was, especially in the Postal Service community. One of his colleagues, Brandy Brackett, spoke with 9 News about her friendship with Jason. She described her workdays no longer being the same without seeing him in the parking lot, checking in to see how each other is doing, exchanging those friendly looks with each other. She says he was a very animated guy. Actually talked about how hard it was going to be to return to work without him.
Jason had been working for the USPS for 7 years. He actually sort of got into it via his stepfather, a guy named Chris Herbert, he himself a postal worker. Jason was extremely close with his stepfather, as his own biological dad had went to get some cigarettes when Jason was 3 years old, and wonder what happened to him. So Jason and his stepfather Chris were just best buddies 5 ever. He moved away from his home state of Connecticut when he was 26 years of age, arriving in Colorado because he said, and I quote, paraphrasing, that he was just looking for some sort of adventure, a fresh start, and in Colorado, you got a bit of everything. It's like a buffet of kind of shit to do, especially if you're into outdoor stuff, like Jason was. It was around then he began working at the USPS, just north of Denver. He got settled in, began dating people, checking out the chicks on the scene, and there was one lady in particular he got on with real good, and her name was Devan Schreiner. They actually met on the job, if you can believe such a thing. The butterflies flew over just divorce papers and letters and all sorts of crap. They got on real good. In fact, Jason would take Devan up to Connecticut, meet their folks. She would get pregnant. In 2015, Devan Schreiner gave birth to their son, name of Chase, the apple of their eye, and for Jason, this was a dream come true. However, as things so often do, or I suppose do not, the relationship that do not last between Jason and Devan, they sort of just like drifted apart. A few years after Chase's birth, they separated, but they would co-parent young Chase. They would do this sort of like split up the week type thing. Devan would have him from X day to X day, Jason X day to Y day. However, at the time of Jason's death, things were vastly improved in the separation. The co-parenting of young Chase was going really well. Jason had just moved into this brand new shampoo, much bigger apartment. He had a new girlfriend who had moved in with him. In fact, when his parents had last spoken to him, calling him from up in Connecticut, he said he was head over heels over his new belle. Rosa was her name. But now he was, well, head to heels in blood after a horrifying shooting. And nothing was stolen from the van, nothing was missing. In fact, witnesses, the curtain twitchers in the neighborhood, had seen this shadowy figure in the area not only as they fled after the shooting, but prior to also, milling about the area, covert-like. They then walked up to Jason, looking him in the eyes as they opened up on him. It seemed very personal. Jason had been shot in the back, twice in the face, and then as he lay. There was even gunshot residue on his noodle, on his forehead, which is from when partially burnt gunpowder, damages the skin. That means the gun had been pressed against his forehead. Not exactly the actions of somebody hoping to steal maybe $20 from a grandma-issued birthday card. Canvassing the area, police found that in fact quite a number of homes had Ring doorbell cameras. One in fact caught the shooting on camera. It then showed the killer fleeing, and following that direction they found more cameras showing the killer on the run. They could practically get the killer's entire route, going from one doorbell cam to a backyard cam and so on and so forth. This eventually led to a car that sped off. The car was somewhat distinctive, as it was missing one of its front hubcaps, so that should have made identifying the suspect's vehicle that little bit easier. Now, as the killing was so personal, so, up in his grill, it had to have been somebody he knew. It had to be somebody with a grudge against him to do this, damn, it's really horrifying execution. Well, maybe his ex-girlfriend, Devan, just throwing it out there. His baby mama. In fact, when one of the first USPS, co-workers arrived on the scene, that was literally the first thing they said. Have you spoken to his baby mama yet? To the police. I mean, Devan and Jason, they co-parented, and it was sort of okie dokie. But, the reason they actually broke up initially was that they sort of had a differing of opinion. A differing of opinion about, just life in general. Devan didn't really want to work, wanted to be a full-time mom, which is okay. But these days and the way of the world, unfortunately, most families need incomes to support themselves, so that wasn't going to work. She still had to remain working at the old postal. Sort of seems like Devan's intention of actually getting pregnant so soon with Jason was so that she could be like, well, yippee, I don't have to work anymore, this is great. Although at the same time, probably feels like something they should have, nailed down before having a kid. I mean, what do I know? If there's one thing I know about myself is that I don't know anything. Except this. If you're gonna have a kid with somebody, then break up with them. And the breakup is acrimonious as all shit. It's a real shit idea, as far as general ideas go, to then get with your ex's much younger sister. I feel like that should be a no-brainer. 2 days before Jason was murdered, Jason filed for increased custody of young Chase. He didn't want to be spending half the week, he wanted to be spending the full week with Chase, and maybe she would get weekends. So you got a custody battle between Jason and Devan, incoming like a freight train. And then you got that followed by Jason now living with and dating Devan's much younger sister. Jason was 33, he was now living with Rosa, who was 19 years of age. As if the custody battle wasn't enough to piss off Devan. Devan and Rosa used to be as close as sisters could be, till they had a falling out. Racking my brains as to what that could have been about. Devan then kicked Rosa out of the house and she moved in with Jason. Did all of this though make Devan pissed off enough to bang dead Jason. Well, when they determined that the Nissan with the missing hubcap was indeed Devan's car, sure as shit looked that way. Like, at this point, I think if Jason was drowning, Devan would have thrown him a friggin' barbell. Now, Devan was also a postal worker, working that very day. She was working up in Loveland, a city about 30 minutes north of Longmont. Was she in fact doing that, though? That was the question. Was she in fact working when she seemed sort of, allergic to it? Thing is, postal trucks, they have a GPS system built in. So was she in Loveland or in Longmont? Loveland. Or, the postal truck was, because somebody was clearly driving her own car down in Longmont. But that in itself was another clue. The postal worker van that she was driving that day was in Loveland. Almost too much in Loveland. I imagine as a postal worker, you're very, very busy. Going around to all the, here you go, yo. Delivering all these packages and mail and all that kind of shit, right? So you're busy. You're going to be on the move constantly. Well, what was weird was that her postal truck was stationary for a good 40 minutes. And those 40 minutes happened to be when Jason Schaefer was shot dead. And you won't believe it. A hot 40 would be enough to get from Loveland down to Longmont, bang bang, back to Loveland. And police were quick to discover all of this. This case wasn't so much a whodunit. It was so much of a how did she do that? Cameras everywhere and a clear motive was established. This was all being gathered the day of, and about 4 hours after Jason's shooting, Devan herself called into the Longmont Police Department. Police had taken young Chase out of school, worried for his safety, and Devan was trying to get back her son.
Hi, I was transferred to you. I was told that I needed to speak with you. I'm not really sure about, but I've been getting a lot of calls from past coworkers and people that I know saying that there may have been an accident with my son's father.
Oh. What's your name?
Devan Schreiner.
Okay.
I work in Loveland, I live in Fort Collins, and nobody called me. I had coworkers I haven't spoken to, well, past coworkers, I guess, that I haven't spoken to in years, telling me that my son's father was in an accident. Okay.
And that I should check on my kid. And nobody told me anything.
Okay.
So Detective Desmond will be here in 1 sec, and he's got more answers than I do.
Where is my son?
He is at the police department, and he is safe with
So he's not here?
This is the police department. He is here.
Okay, well, why is he not here with me? I need him to be here with me. I haven't seen him, and I don't know what's happened. He was taken from his school without my knowledge or consent. And I don't know what's happened to his father. So I need to, where is he? He needs to be here.
Can I have the detective talk to you first, and he'll explain what's going on?
I don't know why he wasn't here when I got here, but I need my son. I am worried about my son. He is 5 years old. And I don't think any of you have told him anything that's happened. I don't even know what's happened.
She was being interviewed by police 5 hours after her ex was shot dead. She immediately goes on the offensive, almost like they killed somebody, huh? She really does go at them, demanding to see her child. And in her eyes, the police, sure, they're the worst of the worst. They're the most evil folks around, not showing this poor mother her precious kid.
I'll read you your rights just so you know about it. Let you know that we're recording this because we have to. We have to record everything. And just so we don't play any games with you, because I don't like to play games with people.
Read me my rights?
Yeah, just get it out of the way.
For what reason?
Well, it's your son's dad died today, and so police typically look at the butler or the ex or somebody who owes him a lot of money. So we want to at least ask you some questions about him, do our due diligence. I don't think he has a butler, so we got to rule the butler out. So we at least got to ask you some questions about how he died. Maybe you know something about it.
I was at work today.
Okay, perfect. You got a good excuse. Shouldn't be a big deal. But I want to ask you about it. I want to exonerate you if possible, and then move on to the next suspect. And so I don't want to do anything, because the case is so serious, I don't want to do anything to violate your rights, anything like that. So everyone...
My rights and my son's rights were violated when you took him from school and did not contact me.
Yeah. So that's what I want to talk to you about. So let me read you your rights, just so you know what they are. Have you ever seen cop shows?
Yeah.
They're on like every night. And these are the same rights. I'm going to read them to you, although you probably know.
They told her slowly, not too much, about what they had, what had happened, and then, pop quiz hotshot, why was your car seen in that neighborhood?
Can I at least see him first?
Right now, no.
Why?
Right now, no. Because we got to figure out if the butler killed your the baby daddy's son, or if you killed the baby daddy's son, or if a bookie killed him, or if it was a random person killed him. I don't know who killed him, and I don't want to turn over the ex to the baby until I know that everything's legit and that you're calm and that you're rational and you're not a crazy person, because I've never met you before.
I'm not calm. No, I don't understand how this can all happen without me even knowing that anything happened in the first place.
Because we don't release children to abusive husbands that kill their wives.
So you're saying that I'm abusive and I killed his father?
I'm saying that this is police standard practice 101.
What am I supposed to
We're trying to
say?
get all this evidence together, and we're trying to put the pieces together. And I don't think you're being truthful with me. And I want to know why your car's there, why you're not using the scanner, why the scanner was left there. It looks like you're involved in this. So tell me why you're not involved.
How can one person be in two places at the same time?
Someone killed your ex, and we want to find out who it is. It seems like you're involved. Your car is there. It looked like a hit. Looks like someone pulled up, ran out, shot him, ran back to the car, sped off, fired 5 times. He died right there. So I'm going to take this seriously.
I understand why I would be a suspect because of who I am related to him.
And your car.
But I don't.
As for why her car was seen near where her ex was shot dead, beats me. And as to why her postal truck was stationary for a good 40 minutes, sure wasn't she having lunch with her boyfriend, a fella named AJ?
All right. We're going to get this going here.
Hey, Devan.
I'm going to introduce you to
I just arrived. I'm a U.S. Postal Inspector. So my name's Ken. So I know you work for the post office and have worked for the post office.
Mm-hmm.
So because this is kind of postal related and you were working today, I wanted to chit chat with you about kind of what happened and some of your activities today, okay? So today's been a stressful day for you, for your child. So I understand that.
I don't think you do.
Does he live by himself?
No.
Okay. Does he have kids or roommates?
He has kids and a ex-wife.
Oh, okay. So his ex-wife lives there. That's probably pretty complicated. What'd you guys do? Just have lunch?
No, we just ate and talked and argued.
Okay. What'd you guys eat?
We had pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls? Okay. Did both of you have pizza rolls?
Yeah.
Okay.
The GPS did in fact show she parked her postal truck outside AJ Ritchie's house. Question was whether they were inside the house or no. AJ Ritchie was about 7 years older than Devan. A local of the area, he worked as a corrections officer, and he had known Devan for about 13 years. The GPS did show she parked outside his house. The post also tracked her parcel scanner thingy, so she was in the area at one point. The real question, though, was whether they were there at the time of the shooting or no. That same day, police spoke with AJ Ritchie also. What's your story? Did you have lunch with your girlfriend, Devan Schreiner, at this time? AJ's story was a little bit different. Like, Devan was saying, oh yeah, he's my new boyfriend. We had lunch together. Nothing wrong with that. AJ, though, was saying, who? I mean, we're friends. She's not my girlfriend, though. She keeps trying to get with me, but I'm just not having it. In fact, I did see her that day, and I told her I don't want to date her. Last he said he saw, she was bawling her heads off inside the postal truck. He went and had Hooters for lunch. And sure, who could blame him?
We talked today. I have a pretty good idea what this is about, because...
So she delivers mail to your house?
Yes.
So while she was here, what did you guys talk about?
She wants a relationship with me.
Okay.
I don't want a relationship with her.
Okay.
So.
Do you know who is she seeing anybody right now?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not something that she would tell me. I don't think.
Okay.
They said she wanted to be with
you.
Me. I don't know if she's going to tell me about somebody else.
Okay.
And he was seen on CCTV in Hooters munching away with his buddies. This was at the exact time of the shooting. So, he couldn't have been the shooter, nor at the scene at the time of the shooting. So you get two different stories here. What a shocker. There's a reason "let's get our stories straight" is a common phrase, but I guess they missed out on that class. And the thing about AJ is that when he was questioned by the police, he was not alone when they rocked up to his home. See, AJ was, womp womp, married. He was a married man. Devan, his secret lover. So when the police asked him questions, well, of course this would be his story.
Your last name's Richie, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Yeah.
Is it possible for us to come in, or would you rather us talk to you outside?
I mean, I'd rather you talk to me outside.
Okay.
She's going to be present. She's an attorney.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We just want to talk to you a little bit about a lady by the name of Devan
Okay.
Schreiner.
Okay.
Do you know her?
Yes.
How do you know her?
She's a friend.
She's a friend?
Yeah.
How well do you know her?
I've known her 13 years now.
Okay. You've known her for about 13 years?
Yeah. So we've been friends for 13 years.
Okay.
I mean, over the last year or so, it hasn't been a very good friendship.
Okay.
But that's how I know her.
Okay. So what do you mean it hasn't been a good friendship over the last year?
She definitely made it pretty clear that she liked me more than I liked her.
Okay.
And I'm married, so
okay.
We kind of separated a bit. We still talk.
Okay.
It's sort of odd, by the way, because his wife is a lawyer, and he's knocking boots with Devan. Come on, dude. To Devan, he told her she was his ex-wife, that they were divorced and just happened to live together, and I guess Devan believed that. What a man. How did he get away with this shit? It all seemed to be just linking to Devan, and Devan was trying to, get her boyfriend to alibi her, and he was having none of it. I mean, we see this time and time and time again. That cell phone data really just seems to be every single killer's Achilles' heels. And it ultimately almost always just leads to your garden variety incompetence. AJ was at Hooters at the time of the shooting, so he was not the person who was all masked up shooting guns, right? But prior to the shooting, his cell phone location data matched the exact route Jason Schaefer had been traveling all that day doing his rounds. He had been stalking Jason for hours prior to Jason being murdered. Then, coincidentally, moments before the shooting, AJ Ritchie booked it to Hooters to be caught on camera.
How you doing, AJ?
Good, how are you?
You remember me? Chris Lucas, the postal inspector.
Yeah, Detective Burke with Longmont PD. Nice to meet you. Good to meet you too. So first off, I know that we're at your place of work. So originally you told us that she was up there at your house with you until 12:15 when you left to go to Hooters. Can you explain that? We're trying to verify Devan's timeline right now. That's the thing.
Yeah. She was not with me.
So we know that you were in Longmont that morning.
AJ Ritchie is a very interesting character because I guess he didn't realize that your cell phone data tracks your location at all times, because he obviously thought he was in the clear and the police would never discover he'd been stalking a soon-to-be murdered man. AJ gave his phone to the police willingly. He said, "Here, knock yourselves out. Have a goo, why don't you? You can goon to your heart's content. I got nothing to hide." I'm not quite sure exactly why he said that, because he definitely did have things to hide, or should have had things to hide. Because he had a saved screenshot, on his phone. This was that image. It is of Devan wearing the exact clothing the shooter was wearing. This was taken 2 days before the shooting. Why he saved that, the mind boggles.
That's off your phone. 2 days before this happened. Can you explain that? You're a smart guy. I think you know where we're going with this.
Yeah,
So if you want to give us answers, now's the time to give them to us.
This story, folks, is like some kind of twisted, Lovecraftian, cosmic horror levels of stupidity. But I hear you, right? You're saying to me, Mike, you can't tell who that is. Their face is covered. You don't know if that's Devan. That could be AJ himself. Lord knows who that is. Sure, that could be old Mike himself in there. Well, thing was, minutes after this picture was sent to AJ, this picture was also sent and screenshotted by AJ. Whoa, I can't show that. This is a kid's show. So, yeah, it doesn't get any more clear than that. Everything about it is the exact same, apart from the, outfit. From man-eater to man-killer.
How did it make you feel to find out that the father of your child was shot in the face with a gun?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'm very upset about it. I know that, like I said, I know that we've had our issues, but...
Okay. You want to continue this conversation, or are you done with the conversation?
There really
Don't wanna
isn't
help
else
anymore?
to say. I've said my day. I've said what I needed to say. I don't see what other questions you would have.
Well, I'd like to know, who do you think would have done this to Jason?
I don't know who would have done this to Jason. I don't know his life anymore. I am no longer a part of it. He made that perfectly clear when he decided to, for lack of better words, sleep with my sister.
Okay.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Do not move, okay?
Am I under arrest then?
We'll discuss that here in just a second.
Devan was arrested, and the fact that AJ had this photo and was following Jason that day, he was likely involved too. They were dating, not just friends like AJ said, unless Devan sent these kind of photos around to all her friends. They found a plethora of messages between AJ and Devan talking about her anger, about how something needed to be done. This was in the months leading up to the murder. That was before Jason even filed for increased more custody of their shared kid, Chase. It seemed like the biggest thing that actually pissed Devan off about Jason, and one of the leading motives for wanting to kill him, was the fact that he was seeing her younger sister. And she felt that they were gonna have this happy little family, Jason, Rosa, and Chase, and then the actual mom would be kind of out of the picture.
A 12-page arrest affidavit obtained by CBS 4 gives us a clearer idea as to what led up to Wednesday's tragic murder of a postal worker. Police say the suspected shooter, Devan Schreiner, stalked her ex-lover on his route as a mail carrier. A blue mask and Nissan Rogue were allegedly found to be with Devan Wednesday night, and GPS technology suggested she was in the area of the shooting in Longmont before returning home to this Fort Collins apartment. Thursday morning, with a warrant in hand, police collected evidence in the home, combing through the trash, even questioning neighbors at times. The apartment appeared to be empty and dark, but belongings found outside suggested a kid lived there.
Devan was furious about Jason dating her sister. The custody papers she was served 2 days before he was murdered, that was the cherry on top. Her jealousy was just overriding everything, so much so that 2 weeks before Jason was shot dead, she had a go at him. She had just a fierce go at him, an outburst at work, screaming and roaring at Jason Schaefer, to the point where Devan was actually fired from her job at the Longmont Postal Service. Luckily for her though, or maybe unluckily in her eyes, she got a job pretty soon, the next town over, the Postal Service in Loveland. I mean, she was pretty pissed off. In the messages, Devan and AJ even mentioned Rosa as being a target of their murderous intentions. I mean, now that she was arrested, her dream was coming true. She wouldn't have to work anymore, so silver linings. Devan would send messages all day. Messages like this. It says A, but that's from Devan. "You are mine! I won't let anybody else have you! You belong to me! Do you understand?" "Yes, lover, I understand. Okay." Poor AJ. I mean, AJ Ritchie, he actually worked as a prison guard, and he probably went along with the entire murder plot because he saw what life was like for the inmates, and he was like, anything to get away from Devan at this point. Rosa too was questioned to give more information on the case. She told of how possessive, jealous, and vengeful her sister could be, especially towards people she felt she owned.
I don't know, this is the thought I've had since I've been with Jason, is I feel like she's just extremely angry with the fact that, I feel like there's no good way of putting it, that I have what she wants, which is a family, even though that was her choice. And she chose to leave, that family and separate it, but I feel like, because she's that nasty, she would be like, you can't have what I want. And she's very the word I was wrong. Possessive. That's right. Like when she's dating someone, or even if she's not dating them, she still considers them hers.
Like if you can't have him, or if she can't have him, then
nobody
can't have him. Yeah, I've heard that before. I'm a domestic violence detective.
I think Devan might be the most narcissistic and entitled person I've covered in a while. That morning, AJ was on the lookout, following Jason, letting Devan know where he was at all times. She was doing her mail route, then positioned herself at AJ's house as an alibi, as AJ wasn't there. Devan had left her actual car there. So, shortly after 12 PM, they switched over. AJ raced back to Loveland, went to a Hooters. Devan raced from Loveland, killing Jason Schaefer. AJ was confronted about his lies, that the fact he was in Longmont following Jason, or at least his cell phone was saying he was shown the selfie he had screenshotted of the killer. And he buckled and told everything. Though he said he wasn't stalking Jason to let him know, where he was so that Devan could come and kill him. He wasn't stalking Jason for any kind of murder plot. You must be joking. He was there as like a bodyguard. He knew his girlfriend was gonna kill Jason. He knew it was going to happen that very day. So he was like following Jason around as his silent protector. He was watching out for Devan. And when he saw Devan, he was going to intervene, try and save Jason's life. Sure, he's a good guy. He's a hero, really, if you listen to him.
So for 2 hours at least, you followed him around, right?
Yeah, part of that time he just went home.
Okay.
So I just sat at the apartment complex.
Just watching him instead of...
I wasn't watching him, I was watching for her.
Instead of just telling him, look, this is something that's going to happen?
Well, I mean, they're in a custody issue. Like, I love her. I care about her. My thought process was if I could stop her, then I'm not getting involved in their custody stuff. I didn't know Jason. Like, I don't know him.
Yeah. But, I mean, hey, after a few hours, he just got hungry. He needed some chicken wings. So we drove to Hooters. And that coincidentally was when Devan arrived and shot Jason dead. Pretty shitty bodyguard, in fairness. Initially, he told police he didn't speak with or warn him, but then, I just remembered actually, I did, but it didn't work.
This morning, she told me that she was going to do it. She told me that she had already had everything that she needed to make it happen, and I tried to talk her out of it. Then she went into work and told me that there was no talking her out of it. So, after talking to her, and she's mentioned it in the past, and she has talked about his route because she knows the long routes. So I went out there, I knew his route number, I found him, and I continued to stay on the phone with her to try to tell her, to try to talk her out of it. But I thought that she was going to go there a lot earlier than that. I thought that if I would see her, I could stop her. She kept talking to me and never showed up there. I guess she was casing at the time. So eventually she told me, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm not going to do it. It's fine. I'm going to go back to work. And she hung up the phone with me. At that point in time, I stopped over at his truck and I told him that he should watch out for her because I think she's planning on doing something. I don't think he remembered who I was because he said, what? He just looked at me and goes, what? And I was like, Devin, I said, she's unstable right now and I think that she's going to do something.
All right, you're under arrest. Go ahead and stand up. Place your hands behind your back.
So yeah, nobody bought that because during the entire time AJ was following Jason as he drove around, he was on the phone with Devan for like almost 3 hours. Devan and AJ were both charged with first-degree murder. Devan went on trial in February 2023. The prosecution's story was, well, sort of everything I laid out for you. They never did find the murder weapon, but let's say they did find enough. They showed text messages between them about how angry she was getting. One saying she was going to throw a party in the woods in which people should bring their own shovels. However, Devan's defense said, sure she did kill him, but she was manipulated into doing so by Big AJ. AJ was jealous of the relationship and how obsessed Devan was with Jason. AJ would say in his interview, he knew Devan for about 13 years. Devan was 26 when he said that, meaning he knew her when she was 13 years old, he was 20 years old. The defense said that AJ forced Devan into a sexual relationship when she was a child. Then they broke up. Devan met Jason, who they claimed was also controlling, and then she got back with AJ when they broke up. That Devan was a victim of the cycle of abuse by the men in her life, and that AJ was controlling her to kill Jason. At the end of her 10-day trial, Devan Rebecca Schreiner was found guilty, and she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. AJ himself, I don't think he could mastermind his way out of a Doritos bag, and he would go on trial about 6 months later. Him being described as the eyes and ears of Devan following Jason that morning. His defense, they stuck with the silent protector angle, that he was trying to prevent a tragedy that morning, and make sure that Devan didn't kill him. They said he did warn Jason that morning, but of course with Jason dead, no one could back that up. Then he left to get food, big dogs gotta eat, and that's when Devan struck. He lied to the police about his whereabouts because he was a married man, and he didn't want his wife to learn about his not-so-secret lover. AJ himself was found guilty of murder, and is now staying in the same place he once worked. Talk about never leaving the office. AJ was sentenced to life without parole. After the death of his father at the hands of his mother, young Chase went to live with Devan's father, and remained in Colorado. And there you have it, folks. These are possibly two of the stupidest criminals that I think we've covered on that chapter. It's hilariously tragic, if that makes any sense. I don't know if they're the stupidest, but they're up there. The Mount Rushmore of rejects. Poor Jason Schaefer, guy who's just trying to do it all for his son. And these two, they couldn't have failed any harder. They were basically caught within hours of them committing the murder. It's cosmic horror levels of dipshittedness. Sinead, thank you so much for watching, folks. It means the world to me that you are here watching this whole video. As always, if you're looking for some more of that chapter, please check out the That Chapter Patreon, $2 a month, early access, ad-free, all videos. There's a whole playlist of exclusive videos, and there's a Discord and all that. You can also check out the That Chapter podcast, which has podcast exclusive episodes every single Monday morning for free on all podcast platforms. So you know what? Give it a go. Why don't ya? The next video will be up next Tuesday, folks, or you know me, next video will be up when it's up, so give it a go. Until then, please take care of each other and yourselves, because I love you. Mike out.